Shalom. I'd like to say our praise due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash, the one apostle of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. My name is Kanawak from GMS Toronto, doing this lesson. And it's going to be in regards to the Moors of Sicily and the Medici family, right? Which were Jake during the medieval times. And they were a well-known family. And so I'm going to bring out certain points and see where their spirit's going to lead, to where the Rakak Kodash, where the Holy Spirit's going to lead, and the historical, these books, this is going to be based on this book, a historical atlas of the Jewish people from the time of the patriarchs to the present, right? Which they're not. We are not Jewish, we are the Jews, right? But this is a good little book. So this is page 92. This paragraph, it says from 1825 to 1067 AD, Sicily is held by North African Muslims, strongly instituted a commercial tie between the Jews on the island and the North African community. Right, so they were in the Mediterranean, like Sicily, Sardinia, and North Africa, and Spain and Portugal. Right, we had a big ties, right, amongst with Ishmael, but there are a lot of Jake that living in North Africa and had communities, right? So it says a natural bridge between east and west, hence a major thoroughfare for the a natural bridge between east and west, and hence a major thoroughfare for trade, caravan, and fertile regions of the temporary climate. North African had always attractive population from the Masharid. Among the inhabitants from the east, there were many Jews, and their influx from transforming North Africa Jewry. Right, so Jake was throughout North Africa, right, that had communities. From the 9th century onward, these newcomers who still had family, commercial, and cultural ties into their countries of origin began to dominate the Maghreb community. It says, however, Baghdad, capital of the Arab Muslim world, and the Babylonians, centers of the Oriental Jewry, who geographically distant from North Africa, thus from the Maghreb community, to find their own solution to their everyday problems. Then it says, from the 10th century onwards, for example, the Jewish community of Carinautian in Tunisia was governed by its own Neged, in Arabic means leader of the Jews. Other Neged were to be found in Spain, Egypt, Yemen, and Morocco and Algeria. Right, so Jake was all throughout those regions trading, and they were speaking Arabic and Hebrew because they were fluent into to speak the Arabic, because they're able to communicate with those Ishmaelites, you know. So they always had a presence in North Africa. So that's checked off now. So this is off of this book here. African presence in early Europe by Ivan Sertima, a very good book. So this is page 148, Salakia. It says, this is a sculpture. Janus Morris, another Moor of saintly another Moor of saintly status in Europe. It says the icon is dated the 19th century and is found in museum in Germany. He was a vizier of Sicily. Right? So Jake was living throughout Sicily, right? And they were he was a big status, right? And that's why there's a lot of Jew blood, a lot of Moorish blood. That's why this book or this movie, True Romance to the Moor Scene, right? Salake. Salake. I'm not gonna play it. I don't want to get a copyright strike. They all have blonde hair and blue. Salake. I'm gonna share this link. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I'm gonna share it. But it shows you that the Moor or the bloodline of the real Jews, that they had a lot of they basically they brought a lot of women into Sicily because they had them as slaves, right? And Jake, our bloodline of the bloodline of the Sicily have changed because like through the Moors, right? So this is off of this. It says the House of Medici, right? The House of Medici, right? So this is what they whitewashed, but Jake basically became lighter because they were, they're intermingled with the Edomites. They're intermingled with, with these, with the Edomites. So we lost our complexion. But basically, going into this Renaissance, they're Jake that was under that whole Catholicism, and so they basically use the Renaissance to institute the rebirth of this whole iconoclasm, this whole this white supremacy, right? With Leonardo Leonardo da Vinci, right? With his whole false painting of the images of the saints, right? And painting themselves as the saints. So the House of Medici was an Italian banker family and political dynasty that first consolidated power in the Republic of Florence under the Casamasio de' Medici and his grandson Lawrence the Magnificent during the first half of the 15th century, right? So a lot of Jake, they were under these secret societies, under the Rome, under the Jesuit, under the Vatican, and because you had the Pope. The Pope was basically the Pope, right? They set up this whole Muslim. They set up this whole Islam and the church. Going back to Constantine the Great, they set up that whole the church, right? And set up this whole Christianity. Like there's wicked Jake that set up that, and basically the Pope, the Vatican, controlled Islam and the Christianity, all right? Because that whole Islam was formed. The whole Islam was formed by by the Vatican, by the Pope, and that whole Christianity, that Sunday worship and all this stuff, and was formed by Constantine the Great. All right, so let's play this. This is off of the House of Medici, or the Medici family. That's why Jake, over there, the Italian, the Sicilians, they have flavor, and they basically, they know who they are, right? I worked with some Sicilians because I used to work at a meat plant. I used to work there. Then I became a meat delivery driver, right? And I was working with a lot of Italians and stuff, and they're very cool, So let's play this though. Let's play this. This is off of the Gemini, this app with the whole artificial intelligence. So let's play this quick.
The House of Medici was an Italian banking family and political dynasty that first consolidated power in the Republic of Florence under Cosimo de' Medici and his grandson Lorenzo the Magnificent during the first half of the 15th century. The family originated in the Mugello region of Tuscany and prospered gradually in trade until it was able to found the Medici Bank, which was one of the most prosperous and respected banks in Europe. The Medici family's wealth and political influence allowed them to acquire power in Florence, and they were able to patronize the arts and sciences, which made Florence into a cultural center of the Renaissance. In 1532, the Medici family was granted the title of Duke of Florence, and they ruled over the city until 1737, when the last Medici ruler died without a male heir. The Medici family's legacy includes their patronage of the arts and sciences, their contributions to the development of banking, and their role in the Italian Renaissance.
So the Italian Renaissance, right? So there's Jake that was under this whole Medici thing. Let's play it. Slovakia. It's page 195. Very good book. This is a very So this is him right here. This is Alejandro, the Medici family, Duke of Florence. All right, so he was a Duke of Florence, right? And he was also known as the Moor. Alejandro the Medici, the Moor. All right, so I want to get this scripture. Revelation 20. Revelation 21, I saw an angel come down from heaven, and the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid, the bottomless pit is Europe, right, known as Asia, right, Eurasia, and the angel Yahweh Shai, and he has the keys to the kingdoms, and he laid hold on the dragon, right, the Roman Empire, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So basically, after the 1,000 years, Jake was in power, right? Under the whole, they used that whole Roman Christianity with Constantine the Great, right? And basically, they were in power for basically over 1,000 years. That whole Catholicism, and and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him to the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should see a nation no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be this little season. So this is a little season what Esau's in. This is his little season, and his time is running out. His time is running out. slowly but surely, right? So, so what was I looking at? So this is 195. Yeah, this is 195. It says, this is off of this paragraph. It says, the influence of African remains in the very life stream of Portugal today. It said the scene of the last battle of the Moorish in Portugal was in Castillo de São Jorge, the castle of Saint George. Today is still standing overlooking the city of Las Duna, as the Moors named Lisbon. Then there is the story of the Portugal of the nobleman who was saddled by the death of his wife and the youngest Moor slave whom he had married after conversion by the Christian faith. This is that paragraph. This is the paragraph I want to read. It says, moreover, it says domination extended to the part of Italy in 846 AD. They held the city of Rome in state of siege, while in 1878 they captured Sicily from the Normans. 20 years later, the Moors took control of the southern Italy by defending the Otto II of Germany. Right, so they were going back and forth because Jake was ruling in Germany throughout those regions, Portugal, or they're known as the Gauls, right? And the Franks. Jake was fighting for power, right? So there are many wars, as in Spain and Portugal. Miscegenous took places on the wide scale between the Moors and the Italians, who at that time had a large influx of the German blood due to the invasion of the Gauls and the Moors, right? So the Gauls and the Vandals, right? Slovakia. The Gauls. Slovakia. The Goths, the Goths and the Vandals. Sorry, Slovakia. So there are many wars. Who are the Goths and Vandals? The Goths are the Vandals, who two of the German group. They clash with the Roman Empire through Europe and North Africa from the 13th to the 15th century. So this is a very good book. All right. Jake was fighting for that power. All right. So there's many wars. There are many wars. Jake going back and forth, right, for land and for status to occupy these territories. African slavery. Says African slavery, the 15th century from Spain and Portugal spread into Italy. The parent of Saint Benedict the Moor, the Catholic saint who attended. It says revered. It says revered fame came out of this intermixing. Right. So this guy, Saint Benedict the Moor. Let's look at that. So this was Jake. This would be his saint. Right? And I believe he's from North Africa. Saint Benedict the Moor, 1526 to April 1589 AD, was a Sicilian Francisco friar, born enslaved African in Sal Fatella. He was freed at birth and became known as for his charity. So he's under the whole Catholicism, and I'm sure he was well established, but he was under that whole Catholicism, which was run by the Pope under that whole Jesuit order. Right? Says the parents of Saint Benedict the Catholic saint who attended reverent fame, came out of this intermixing, and the fact of the blood of African permeated through all layers of Italian society, and found that it found its way into leading families, including the most illustrious royal family of the time, the Medici. Right, so the Medici family. Color was no bar to power, and color was no bar to power, and an honor in Italy. This was illustrious when Alejandro de Medici, known as the Moor, became the first Duke of Florence. His mother was black, and it been in the service of the Pope's aunt. Right? So his mother was a Jake, so he could have been a Tier. We don't know, right? But he was, a lot of Jake was under that whole Catholicism too, right? It says his mother was a black and had in the service of the Pope's aunt. What happened here? And the wife of the mule driver. It says the Duke of Clement the Seventh, the Cardinal de Medici, took her as his mistress and was the father of Alejandro. All the writers of his time started that Alejandro was a mulatto, and his African feature was vilely depicted, and were vilely depicted by the painting of the bronze and Vashi. Right? It says it was when Cardinal de Medici became Pope in 23 that he had illegitimate son Alejandro, sole ruler of Florence. Right, so Jake was in power, right, and that's when the whole Renaissance Christianity came, and Alejandro married Margaret, daughter of Charles V, Emperor of Germany. So Charles V was a Jake throughout Germany, Spain, Austria, and ruled 5 years until he was murdered. Until he was treacherously murdered. All right, so Jake was in power. All right, let's put that because the guy who they have at Charles V, that was whitewash images, right? So Charles. Cause you see this. This is a whitewash image. This wasn't Charles V. This is actual Charles V, right? So this is the actual Charles V, right? Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, by the virtue of the time frame and his Habsburg jaw. Right? He was of the Habsburg dynasty. It typically lying albino fashion. The painting is falsely called Valeriano, the Moorish king. Right? So this is actually how he would look. This is this is Charles V. Charles V, who ruled ruler of the Holy Roman Empire in 1519, and Charles I. All right, this is a good little website known as very good book. A good website, the real history of the Jew, the real history www.com, and it goes into a lot of good information, hidden information. All right. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Going into the whole Medici family and their tie, their connection. So so that's pretty much it. So this is gonna be going into the Medici family and the Sicilians, right? Because there's a lot of Jake that look they look more light skinned, but they're Jake. They're their lineage goes back to the Moors. And this is a good little good movie to watch. But I will share this link. I will share the link in the description because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So with that, let us say our praise due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash, the bonds, the parts of great millstone, peace and blessings, elect, Shalom.